And I suppose this is where it all started for me. I've actually brought you to my granddad's fruit farm. And I used to spend most of my summers here and my weekends here. And it was the most amazing place as a child to grow up in. So along here, you had row upon row upon row of raspberries. Just down towards the end of the field, that was just all rhubarb down there. And this big field behind me, this is where there's typically vegetables growing. So you had carrots, cabbages, sometimes Brussels sprouts. And behind that hedge, see the hedge running through the middle there? Behind that was the most amazing place. You had red currants and white currants and black currants, gooseberries, and down the end another rhubarb patch. And you see that pile of what looks like rubble there? That used to be a big glass house. And the glass house, in there you had all types of exotic fruit and vegetable growing. And the most amazing part was from the end of the glass house running to the road over there, you had row upon row of strawberry beds. Great place in the summer. And behind all that were the orchards. So you had apples and pears and damsons and plums growing. I suppose you could say that food growing is actually just part of me. It's part of my blood. It's part of who I am. This is where I live on the east coast of Ireland. I live just up there with a view of the sea. My children go to school behind me. And right over here on the beach is where the Laytown horse races occur every year. It's a great community to be part of. And I was talking to friends and family who live around here that I realised there was a problem. People wanted to be able to grow their own food, but they weren't quite sure where to start or maybe thought they didn't have enough space. That's where the idea for SmartGrowers came from. So why have I brought you to a graveyard of all places? Well, actually this is the graveyard of my granddad, the one who had the fruit farm. And what amazed me about him is just how much he squeezed into his life. Okay, he was 86 when he died, so he did have a long life. But he was an international rugby referee, he founded the Irish Farmers Association, he ran a nightclub, he of course had a fruit farm, he had 8 children, he built a golf course, you name it, he squeezed it into his life. But it wasn't just his achievements that inspired me. I still remember the day of his funeral. He was in the church just up the way there. And there were several hundred people crammed into this little church, and another several hundred people outside. And what struck me was how many people were there just because he was a man who'd helped them in a little way with their lives. He was a very generous-hearted soul who gave and looked out for people. And that's how I'd like to be remembered too.